Hi boys and girls, I'm going to demonstrate for you how to put your warp, which is this yarn, onto this loom. How to get the whole thing set so that you are ready to weave. This is a 5th grade loom here, already marked with its tabs. There should be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 marks at the top and the same number at the bottom. You always want exactly the same number top and bottom. The first thing we're going to do is take your scissors, and I recommend for cutting all these tabs doing the alligator method rather than the snip. Open up really wide, and you're going to hit each one of these lines, and when you cut, you want to cut until you hit that black line that goes across. So you don't want, this isn't a race, you want to make sure that you make some nice cuts. I do find that left-handers sometimes have a hard time cutting with the right left-hand scissors. It doesn't cut smoothly, so you may want to have a friend do it for you or a family member if you're at home doing this. But take your time. If you hold your scissors super straight so that they're not slanted at all like this or this, then you should be able to get pretty good cuts. Okay, just watch your fingers too. It's one side, come to the other side and do the same thing. This is the only thing we should need our scissors for right now. Cut all the way across. If you try to use the tip of the scissors and snip, you're not going to have much power. The power is at the back of the scissors here. That's why I like this kind of like alligator claw method, real wide, all the way at the very back of the scissors. Makes a nice even cut. Okay, now that I have that done, what we're going to be doing is putting our warp on. So we want our yarn to end up looking like this. Looks a little bit like a guitar strings. So I like this to be the front. So I'm going to flip this over to the back. This is 9 feet of yarn, and I like to kind of unwind it so that it doesn't tangle while I am trying to put it on to my cardboard. You're going to want a couple pieces of tape. Any kind of tape will do. I'm going to put one piece down here for the ending, one here. And I'm going to take my yarn, and you want to have a nice long stretch piece of it in the back. So I'm going to put this down here, and then I'm going to take my yarn, and one of these 2 corners, I'm going to, on that first tab, I'm going to fit it through so that it goes all the way down, basically to that line there. Now, this looks pretty simple, but make sure you watch in case you think you know what you're doing, but maybe you make a mistake. So we're going to go all the way down to this one and go through, but we're not going to wrap it around the back. Some people tend to wrap it around the back. You don't want to do that. You only want this one long piece on the back right now. You're going to wrap around this tab. So wrap right around that tab. Now I'm going to go back up to the next tab here and then wrap around here. Down and around the tab, up and around the tab. Just going to keep doing that all the way across. It's really important that every so often you check and look at the back and see what it looks like. You shouldn't have any vertical lines. I'll make a mistake on purpose just to show you what some people do. They go around the back like this, and if you flip it over, you see a long piece. You do not want that. That will cause you a headache later. So you want to make sure that you only have the one piece that you taped down. Up and around, down and around. Just keep going until you're all the way across. Again, not a race. Kind of take your time and make sure that you've got it right. Every so often checking to make sure, yep, that you didn't accidentally wrap around the back. It's a really easy thing to do. Now that I've got it on the front here like this, when I flip it over, it should kind of look like this, where I now have another long piece. So I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to kind of give it a nice kind of tight pull there and tape this one down. And if you have a little extra that's going to hang off this, you can trim off, so you don't want it getting in your way later. Then while you've got turned on the back here, I would make sure that you write your name very largely and put your class code. So let's say this is a 5th grade loom, so let's say I do 5-1, just circle around it. And that's just always a good practice to make sure that you have it on the back. So this is what the front looks like. This is what the back looks like. If you are wanting to make sure that things are really set and that one extra step I like to do is to take a piece of tape, the length of the end there, just in case when you're weaving these want to pull off, or if a couple of your cuts are a little, like your tabs are a little weak, what you can do is take this piece of tape, put it up there, and it'll prevent this from shifting around while you're weaving. Right now you can't anticipate that that's going to happen, but sometimes it's just a nice practice. If you're a little worried about them falling off, or one feels a little bit loose, which is okay, this will help prevent any issues. But do not put that tape anywhere below that line. You don't want it like this. That's going to be a problem. And actually, if you have it up higher, that's fine. I'd rather it be higher than below that line where you cut. It just holds it from sliding off. And that's pretty much it. That's the first step of getting your warp, which is the vertical lines here, the vertical yarn, onto your loom.